Star Trek. Strange New Worlds showrunners break down the Season 3 premiere and tease potential spin-off. The long-awaited Star Trek. Strange New Worlds Season 3 premiere didn't just deliver one of the most ambitious episodes in modern Trek, it also reignited conversations about the show's future. From the high-stakes storylines and unexpected character moments to the tantalizing hints at possible spin-offs, showrunners Henry Alonso Myers and Akiva Goldsman have opened up about what lies ahead for Captain Pike's crew and the ever-expanding Star Trek universe. Their breakdown of the explosive premiere reveals how Strange New Worlds continues to evolve its tone and storytelling, and how it might be laying the groundwork for the next great Trek adventure. A season premiere that redefines Boldly Go. Season 3's premiere, titled The Hollow Frontier, opens with a gripping sequence that perfectly captures the show's blend of adventure, heart, and ethical complexity. Set months after the dramatic Season 2 cliffhanger, the episode finds the USS Enterprise facing the political fallout from its confrontation with the Gorn, an event that's shaken the Federation's frontier stability. According to Myers, the writers wanted to start the season with something that felt like classic Trek, but pushed the narrative boundaries further. Greater than, we always say each premiere needs to remind you what Star Trek is about: exploration, hope, and choices that define humanity, Myers explained. But this time, we also wanted to remind people that Strange New Worlds isn't afraid to get messy. These characters live in a time when the Federation's ideals are still being tested. The episode balances moral tension and spectacle, with Captain Christopher Pike Anson Mount facing a near-impossible decision that risks reigniting war with the Gorn. Meanwhile, the emotional core of the episode lies in the return of Montgomery Scott Martin Quinn, whose introduction in the Season 2 finale is now fully realized as he joins the crew, albeit reluctantly. Goldsman highlighted that Scotty's addition wasn't just a nostalgic cameo, but a deliberate story evolution. Greater than, we wanted Scotty to arrive not as the miracle engineer we all know, but as someone who's raw, brilliant, and untested. This is the version of him who hasn't yet become the legend, he said. That tension between genius and insecurity makes for amazing storytelling. The emotional fallout of the Gorn conflict. Season 2 ended with the Enterprise caught in a deadly standoff against the Gorn, and Season 3's premiere doesn't shy away from the consequences. Starfleet's upper command is split on whether Pike's actions violated first contact protocols, while Number 1 Rebecca Ramin faces personal guilt for her role in the mission's outcome. Myers revealed that the writers approached the Gorn storyline not just as a military conflict, but as a meditation on fear and misunderstanding. Greater than, the Gorn have become symbolic of the unknown, what happens when communication breaks down completely, he said. In this season, we wanted to explore whether peace is even possible when both sides are operating from trauma. The Gorn remain mostly unseen in the premiere, which builds tension through mystery rather than full-blown warfare. Viewers instead experience their presence through wreckage, survivors, and chilling transmissions, a technique Myers compared to Jaws. Greater than, the less you show, the more powerful the fear becomes, he noted. It's not about monsters, it's about how the crew reacts to the idea of them. Spock's struggle with identity continues. Ethan Peck's portrayal of Spock has become one of the series' emotional anchors, and Season 3 continues to deepen his internal conflict between logic and emotion. The premiere finds Spock temporarily in command of the Enterprise, while Pike faces Starfleet Tribunal, a challenge that forces him to confront his lingering doubts about leadership. Goldsman teased that Spock's arc this season will echo his eventual path toward the original series version of the character played by Leonard Nimoy. Greater than, we are watching Spock grow into the man who can one day stand beside Kirk, Goldsman said. But getting there means making mistakes. It means caring too much, then learning how to control it without losing empathy. The episode features a powerful scene between Spock and Dr. Mabenga Babs Olusanmoken, where they discuss the burden of command and the cost of compassion in wartime. Myers said that moment encapsulates the season's thematic heart. Greater than, that conversation is Star Trek in its purest form, two people wrestling with what it means to be human, even when one of them technically isn't. A new threat emerges, and it's not the Gorn. While the Gorn dominate the headlines, the real twist of the premiere lies elsewhere. The episode introduces a mysterious new faction known as the Accord, a rogue alliance of ex-Starfleet officers who believe the Federation has grown complacent. Goldsman described them as idealists gone too far, a morally gray mirror to the Federation's values. Greater than, they're not villains, he said. They're what happens when people lose faith in Starfleet's bureaucracy, but still believe in its ideals. In a way, they're the anti-Pike, willing to sacrifice morality for what they see as progress. The introduction of the Accord sets up a multi-episode arc that will test the loyalty of several crew members, including Lon Noonien Singh, Christina Chong, whose complicated history with Authority continues to evolve. Greater than Lon's past with Starfleet and her genetic heritage both come into play this season, Myers teased. Her journey may take her away from the Enterprise, and that's something we are exploring very seriously. The spin-off tease. Could Lon lead her own show? That final comment wasn't accidental. Both Myers and Goldsman have hinted in recent interviews that Strange New Worlds could act as a launching pad for multiple Trek spin-offs, just as Discovery and Picard did before it. One of the most persistent rumors surrounds a potential Lon Noonien Singh spin-off, exploring her life as a special envoy or rogue Starfleet officer navigating the moral gray zones of the post-Gorn War galaxy. Goldsman didn't confirm anything outright, but didn't deny it either. Greater than, let's just say Christina Chong has given us a character rich enough to hold a series on her own. If that's something fans want, and the universe allows, we'd love to explore it. Other potential spin-offs include one focused on Captain Battle Melanie Scrofano, whose complicated relationship with Pike could lead to her own command-centered story, and another centered around Cadet Uhura Celia Rose Gooding that explores her rise through Starfleet before the original series. Myers emphasized that any future project would need to carry the same spirit that makes Strange New Worlds resonate. Greater than, we don't want to make Star Trek for the sake of making more Star Trek, he said. Each story needs a reason to exist, a human question at its core. The balance between episodic adventure and serialized storytelling. One of Strange New Worlds' biggest strengths has been its return to the classic Trek format of episodic storytelling, but with enough serialized depth to give emotional continuity. The showrunners confirmed that Season 3 will continue that balance, with a mix of self-contained adventures and multi-episode arcs tied to the Gorn conflict, the Accord, and Spock's evolution. Greater than the challenge, Myers said, is to make each episode feel complete but still feed the larger narrative. We want someone to be able to jump in at episode 4 and still understand what's going on, but if you've been there since episode 1, you'll feel the emotional build. Goldsman added that the team drew inspiration from Deep Space Nine's long-form storytelling and the original series' sense of wonder. Greater than, it's about having fun in the unknown, he said. Sometimes that means encountering a godlike being, sometimes it's a time paradox, and sometimes it's just a character realizing who they are. Pike's leadership tested like never before. If Season 2 was about Pike's fear of his own future, Season 3 pushes him to redefine what leadership means when destiny feels unavoidable. Anson Mount's nuanced performance continues to ground the show, and the premiere makes clear that Pike's reputation as Starfleet's most human captain will be both his greatest strength and his Achilles' heel. Greater than, Pike's empathy is what makes him a great leader, Myers said. But empathy can also cloud judgment. This season,